What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Vault. My name is Money, and today we're going to be looking at my top 10 favorite pops from 2021. It's been a pretty exciting year for Funko. We've seen some really cool stuff. We've seen some stuff that's kind of meh. But in this video, we're going to be looking at my personal top 10 favorite pops from Funko this year. And I would love to hear your top 10 or even your just overall favorite down below in the comments. Oh, and before we get to number 10, if you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Hit the subscribe button down below if you're new. All right, let me check my notes here. My 10th favorite pop from 2021 is, drumroll please, the Chase Ben Wyatt from Parks and Recreation. Now, Parks and Rec was a line that I thought was done. I didn't think that we'd ever get to see more Parks and Rec pops because the license was canceled because NBC didn't like them or something along those lines. But then we ended up getting a full set this year, and the Big Apple Collectibles Chase version of Ben Wyatt is my 10th favorite pop of this year. Now, while I do have some opinions on Big Apple Collectibles that are neither here nor there, this thing finally got to me after about 7 or 8 months of ordering it. I ordered this back in, I believe, I want to say late April, and it showed up in October, I think, which is just crazy to me, but nonetheless, I love it. Ben Wyatt is probably my favorite character from Parks and Rec, period. He's just like me in so many ways, and having him with the Cone of Dunshire and then the Chase specifically having the Ledgerman hat is fantastic, and that is why Ben Wyatt is my 10th favorite pop of 2021. Number 9 on my top 10 list goes to the Flocked Blue from Blue's Clues, and I know this is kind of a random out of left field pick, but this pop is fantastic. Now, I've seen some flocked pops in the past that don't necessarily look great. For example, the flocked Squirtle. I mean, this thing just does not look good, and I've even considered getting rid of this thing because it's just not a good looking figure. But when it comes to the blue flock on blue here, this is what a flocked pop should look like, and I'll even show you guys the comparison here as to how beautiful this one is and to how not great Squirtle over here is. But blue is fantastic because Blue's Clues was such a big part of my childhood when I was younger, and now that they're doing pops for things that I liked growing up when I was younger, the nostalgia is, of course, kicking in. Also, I had a $10 certificate at Hot Topic, so I paid $3 for this thing or something along those lines, so it's an awesome pop, one of my favorites of the year, and I got it for super cheap. And a little bonus thing for those of you who don't know, on the back flap, Blue's paw print is right there, which is just another added bonus as to why this pop is so awesome and why it's number 9 on my top 10 list. Number 8 on my top 10 list goes to a pop from The Office that I have been waiting to get forever, or I guess I should say I've been waiting for Funko to make it forever, and that is Moe's Schrute from The Office. And they put him in the Fear shirt, which is so funny. This is everything I wanted from a Moe's pop, and it finally got released. After so many conventions of Dwight Schrute, they finally started doing other characters, and I'm so excited that Moe's was one of those characters. Now, I got this on GameStop's website because I was not lucky to get it on the Funko shop or in person at GameStop, which is totally fine. I had to wait a little while longer than I would have liked to have gotten this thing, but still, I'm very excited to have it in the collection. And with this pop, this may have been my number 1 want from the Office set, so I think I can rest easy now as an Office collector because it finally exists, and it's everything that I've ever wanted from a Moe's pop, with the exception of no quote on the back flap. All Office pops prior to Moe's had quotes on the back flap, and now with this forward, they stopped doing the quotes, which is kind of sad. It was such a cute little thing that they did on the box, like an added bonus. Regardless, Moe's falls in at number 8 on my top 10 pops of 2021. Number 7 on my top 10 list is a big boy, and that is the Pearl Jam 5-pack, which is, it would have ranked higher if there weren't so many awesome things released this year. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This is one that, I mean, I couldn't wait to get my hands on. I was able to pre-order this from this channel's sponsor, Heroes Hideout, and I got it for such a good deal because I had points racked up. So I was so excited to get my hands on this thing. I mean, you got Mike, Jeff, Matt Stone, and Eddie Vedder there in the middle. And Pearl Jam is just, they're one of my favorite bands. I am a huge grunge 90s rock fan. So being able to have a 5-pack of all of the characters, it's a no-brainer. I am a sucker for multi-packs. I mean, if there's 3 commons and they release them as a multi-pack, I'm selling the commons and I'm getting the multi-pack. Would I have just gotten Eddie Vedder by himself? Of course, I maybe wouldn't have gotten all 5 of them if it wasn't for the multi-pack, but the fact that they only did the 5-pack makes me much more likely to purchase the multi-pack, because, I mean, Pearl Jam is just one of my favorite bands from that era. Pearl Jam may have been my 2nd concert that I've ever gone to. My first concert was Stone Temple Pilots, and then I went to Pearl Jam with my cousin and my dad, and, I mean, they were just Pearl Jam is just one of the biggest inspirations around my own songwriting because I'm a musician myself. So having a multi-pack like this is so awesome, and it was so worth the wait, and that's why it ranks in at number 7 on my top 10 list. My 6th favorite pop of 2021 is the Blue Spirit Chase from Avatar: The Last Airbender. And I gotta be honest with you guys, even if there was no chase and it was just the Blue Spirit, it would still rank the same. It isn't on the list because it's the chase. If it was just the common, I would have just put the common on this list because I love Zuko's Blue Spirit outfit so much. But the fact that it glows in the dark takes a little bit of precedent over the common one, which is why it's on the list. So Zuko is one of the best characters in Avatar: The Last Airbender. There's no contesting that. But just the fact that they did the Blue Spirit and it looks so good. I mean, the mask transitions so well. The swords, the outfit, everything about it is just so good. That's why I had the Blue Spirit on my top 10 list here. One thing that I did notice about the Avatar pops from the most recent wave that I hadn't noticed in the past is that they do have, let me see if I can open it up here without jacking it up. On the back flap of all of these commons, they have a little icon depending on the element that the character bends. So for the Aang pops, it's a little air icon. For Zuko here, it's a fire icon, etc., etc. It's just a nice little touch, you know? And plus, when I got this thing, I actually went out and hunted it. I didn't have to pay secondhand for the Blue Spirit Chase. I had the morning off of work, actually, so it just lined up that when this got in stock, I had the morning off. I made a whole hunting video, and I was able to go out and hunt for this thing, which I haven't been able to do in a while because I've been so busy getting my master's and working full-time, and on top of COVID, it's made things difficult. But being able to go out and hunt and be successful in the hunt just adds to it a little bit, and that's why this falls in at number 6 on my top 10 list. Number 5 on my top 10 list is another Hot Topic exclusive, and that is the Flocked Eduardo from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. I'm noticing a trend of flocked Hot Topic exclusives showing up here between Blue and Eduardo, which is kind of funny. I mean, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, you can't go wrong with it. I'm still so hopeful that next year we get Coco and Wilt and Frankie and all the other characters that we haven't gotten. But even if this is it, this Flocked Eduardo is a beautiful pop. It is so hefty. The flock on it is so beautiful. It's really the purple and the blue colors really look so nice when they're flocked. It's just a beautiful pop, honestly. I mean, it's so heavy, it's so hefty. He takes up pretty much the entire box in there. And Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends was one of my favorite shows when I was younger. So being able to, again, add a bit of nostalgia to my collection through this set is fantastic. And that's why Eduardo falls this high on the list. Moving on to number 4, we have the Pop in a Box exclusive Wanda Maximoff from Avengers Endgame. Now, I do have this special edition sticker one. I know, I get it. But this pop was delayed for so long. I couldn't wait anymore. So I had a friend who got these into their store with the special edition stickers, pick one up for me and ship it off to me because I just couldn't wait anymore. I was very impatient. And I was actually able to pay pretty close to what Pop in a Box charges to ship for it altogether. So I'm pretty happy. Now, this is the best looking Wanda pop you'll get. The Scarlet Witch ones I understand, like her with the book and her levitating the topic from WandaVision. I understand those are extremely popular, but this one, in my opinion, is the Wanda to get because she's levitating. She has her powers underneath her. It glows in the dark. Her eyes are red. I mean, it's just such a beautifully crafted pop. I really don't have a lot to say about it, if we're being honest, because I think it speaks for itself. It's just a beautifully crafted pop. It's on my top 10 list. It's on a lot of collectors' top 10 lists this year. And rightfully so. It's beautiful. Coming in at number 3 on my top 10 list is a pop that I had been asking Funko to make since I started collecting it, and that is Sly Cooper. Sly Cooper was the game I played every single day growing up. It didn't matter which one it was. I was always playing Sly Cooper. So finally being able to have a pop of this guy is fantastic. And he doesn't have a lot of merchandise. You really don't see Sly Cooper stuff at GameStop or at Target or something like that. So being able to own a figure of one of my favorite video games growing up was just... it was an easy get for me. It went up the same day as the GameStop Diamond Pikachu, so I grabbed both of them. And then I was disappointed extremely when I got home and they had this big red GameStop sticker on them, which is probably the only downside of this pop. But considering that I had wanted Funko to make this thing for years, at the end of every year I do a what do I want from Funko next year type of video. And I'm pretty sure every year I've done it, I've been asking for Sly Cooper. So being able to have asked for it and speak it into existence is so incredible. And I think if I get a Jack and Daxter pop next year, I'll be able to be happy and I can stop collecting, I think. My second favorite pop of 2021 is the Emerald City Comic Con Diamond Vaporeon. This thing is beautiful. If you collect Pokemon, you know how beautiful this thing is. Not only is it the most expensive Diamond Pokemon pop at the time of making this video, but the blue on it is just so beautiful. And I have this weird nostalgia about Emerald City Comic Con this year. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe because San Diego got canceled and New York Comic Con was weird, that Emerald City this year was kind of the only normal convention that we had. But it's still like such a beautiful pop. The diamond on it is beautiful. I have the con sticker on it, which is so sublime. It's a beautiful pop. It's hefty. It looks great because some of the diamond Pokemon don't look that great, but I think Vaporeon is the best looking one out of all of them. Vaporeon is the leader of the pack in my opinion, and that's why it falls at number 2 on my top 10 list, and number 1 is my favorite Pokemon pop so far. And here we are at number 1, my favorite pop of the year. I've picked something very good that I think a lot of collectors are going to agree with me about. But before we do that, I want to go ahead and mention a couple honorable mentions of things that just missed the top 10 list. The first runner-up is Dragonite, which is a beautiful pop. I mean, it's probably coming in at number 11 on my top, let's say 11 list, you know what I mean? It's a beautiful pop, super heavy. I mean, Dragonite looks like a pop the way that its proportions are. That's why I love it so much, but it just fell a little bit short of the top 10 list. Duke Silver from Parks and Rec is also an honorable mention. I mean, Parks and Rec is my favorite TV show of all time. Duke Silver, of course, iconic Ron Swanson outfit. However, I do feel that the new Parks and Rec wave fell a little bit short, in my opinion, of my own expectations, which could have been my own fault because I would have loved to have seen Anne and Donna and the rest of the cast. But my favorite Ron Swanson variant is Duke Silver. Out of all of these pops, there was just a little too much oversaturation when it came to Ron variants, so that's why I don't think any of them made my top 10 list. And the last runner-up is the Hex Girls from Scooby-Doo, which, of course, Scooby-Doo is a huge part of my childhood. I mean, it might have been my favorite program of all time growing up, my favorite media, I guess I should say. Everything else that I put on the top list, in my opinion, is just a little bit better of it, but they are a close runner-up. It's a beautiful looking set. I mean, getting Scooby-Doo exclusives is always great in my opinion, and I'm glad that it's just not another colored Scooby-Doo variant or, you know, him holding a Ruh-Roh sign in his mouth or something like that. And now, my favorite pop of 2021, the Target exclusive Super Deluxe Aang with all of the elements glow in the dark. And I think a lot of collectors can agree with me that this thing is sick. Now, I didn't pick up the common one because I didn't see the need to have the common and the glow in the dark one, but this thing is beautiful. The only downside to it is that only Aang's eyes and arrow glow. I was severely disappointed that the fire didn't glow at least, which was very disappointing in my opinion. But when you take away the glow factor, this thing is just absolutely beautiful. And it's from such an iconic scene of Avatar: The Last Airbender, that final fight with the Fire Lord when Aang goes into the Avatar state and channels all the elements. The show was building up to this moment, and this pop just transitions that moment so well into a pop figure. I mean, it's just beautiful. You have the holes in his back from when Azula struck him with lightning. You have the air, you have water, you have earth, you have fire. It's beautiful. It is the climax of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and the fact that it exists makes me so happy. And that's why this Aang pop is my number 1 pick of 2021. one. And let's be honest, there were a bunch of other great things that were released this year, and I want to hear your list down below in the comments. What was your favorite pop this year? Was it something on my list? Was it something that I didn't show off? I want to hear your thoughts down below. And don't forget, if you are new to this channel, subscribing is the best way that you can show support for me and for this channel, and it's free. So why not subscribe? It doesn't cost you anything. You can just go ahead and do it. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to collect what you love, even when what you love is now a $300 diamond Pokemon pop. And as always, I will see you all soon.